Yeah, self. Okay, and the next thing is the tendency to overspend in debt, right? Because you have taken debt and it's not your hard earned money, right, upfront. So there is like a big tendency to spend more than like spend more amount of money than you could, like you wanted to, right? It's free money, right? Like you don't care. Why would you? Like if it was your hard earned money, whenever you are giving like even 1 rupee, you know the value of that rupee. I mean, you know the value of that money in terms of your hard work. How many hours of hard work you had to put in to earn that money? How you will remember the grind you had to go through. You remember the struggle. You remember how uh, yeah, that's what you remember, how much you had to work hard for that money. So like you know the value of that money in terms of your hard work. But with debt, nothing of that thing exists, right? It's basically free money, so you will obviously go on splurge on things, and you'll just overspend the money you get from debt. Yeah, but many people think they are very smart and they will not go and they are not going to overspend money, uh, right? But I think like that is not going to happen in most of the cases, right? These banks and companies and these lenders, right? They have uh, a lot of behavioral economists, right, working for them than how much you think you know about behavioral economics, right? So that is why words like debt trap, right? These words exist for a reason, right? Because so many people are already trapped in their debt. Yeah, and one of the argument we hear a lot of the time is, my friend took debt, now he has this business built around him, or now he has this asset for him, and now he has also paid back his debt fully. So yeah, the same thing will happen with me. Why should I not take debt in that case, right? Yeah, it is true that some people like can they make a lot and they can get a lot of benefit from the debt, and they will also be able to pay back the debt. But this does not mean the same thing will happen to you, right? I told you example of 50 people who are successful and 50 people who are not successful. You are most likely to hear from the successful people than from the unsuccessful people. So this is the confirmation bias, right? And you will have to think about the people who are not successful, and why is there not a chance that you will end up as not successful, right? Obviously there is a chance. So the risk you wanted to take, that is what you need to consider. And the next thing is, debt is reverse of investment. Okay, so what do we mean by investment, right? Investment is something where you invest your money now. I mean, you lose your money now. By losing, I mean you are parting with your money in the present now to get more money in the future, right? So when we apply the same analogy to the debt, so getting debt is, I mean, debt is where you get money now, okay, to lose more money later, right? Investment is where you lose money now to get more money later, and debt is where you get money now so that you could lose more money later, right? So This is what actual debt is. It is reverse of investment. So let's say, yeah, even if it is good debt, and if you use that debt to buy an asset, or you use that debt to invest in something else, okay, so if that investment which you financed from your debt did not make more returns than the debt you have, right? if the if your debt I mean, sorry, if your investment financed by debt does not make more money than the amount of debt you had already taken, then you are basically screwed, right? You will have to, the difference you will have to pay from your own pocket, and obviously you are going to lose money, and you will have to get that money from your other investment, or from your uh, job, I mean from your salary, or how you are going to finance it, like it depends upon you. Or you'll have to sell off your other assets or something like that, right? You are basically screwed when your good debt does not uh, generate more returns than the interest and principal you will have to pay back in the future, right? So, and the next thing is credit cards. So credit cards are really a whole another story, and like it really needs a separate dedicated video for it, and I will make a video in the future. And the next thing is tax, tax and debt. So like this is, I think, something like most of the people forget. I mean, they completely miss out on tax, right? Tax is like not just something you had to pay. Like most of the people here don't pay income tax, right? We most of us know that, but that is not the only kind of tax that government imposes on the people. It's like you will have to pay a lot more taxes, like which you don't even realize. You have GST, you have uh, like uh, on many other things, you have sales tax, you have VAT, value added tax, you have road tax, you have, I mean, like there are so many taxes uh, you will have to pay that you don't even realize. Really, like if you buy something, most of the time the amount of tax is already included in its price. So that is why you don't realize it. But actually, tax really does make up a big part of the economy, and that's how government makes money, right? So what happens with debt? What happens with debt is, uh, especially with good debt. So why we are taking on good debt? To increase our income, right? To make more money in the future. So when you make more money, then you will also have to pay tax on that more money. Okay. So there are two choices. First thing is to not make more money from debt and be happy with whatever money you are making now without any debt. In that case, you do not have to pay any additional tax. You do not have to pay off any debt. Second case is where you take on what's called as good debt, right? And you are making more money than you previously made. Now with the debt, you are making more money now, but you will also have to pay more tax on that money, and along with the tax, you will also have to pay back the debt, the principal and the interest, right? Uh, so when you calculate both of these, right? If like you could be saving some amount of money even while you are making less money, instead of paying like the expenses increase when you are making more money, that is in form of taxes and debt payments, right? EMIs, uh, and that could leave you with no savings, like very little savings or no savings at all, Yeah, but you might think I have this asset now, I own this asset now, but let me tell you, whatever you think could is the price of that asset, it could be it could be worthless within few days, right? That is what we saw with the housing crisis in 2008, and many other uh, times too. Again, same with the confirmation bias, right? Those who boast about something, that's what you are more likely to hear about, and who lost money, you are not going to hear much about them. Yeah, so government loves taxes, right? That is how government makes money from your taxes. So obviously government wants to make more money, uh, and so when you are making more money, it can tax you more. I mean, you will have to pay more in tax. So obviously government wants you to make more money, and so it wants you to take on more debt, right? Doesn't it? So so many people now, the along with lenders, even government wants you to take on more debt so that it can make more money from the taxes. So what do you think about it, right? You have to think about yourself. Lenders think about themselves, government think about itself. So you have to think about yourself. Nobody is going to think for you, right? What about the stress that comes with debt? Even if you are making uh, too much, even if you are making much money from the debt, what about the additional stress that comes with you? I mean, sorry, that comes with the debt. The additional stress that comes with making more money. Okay, many times it feels like have making less money is better, and being if you are if you are not having much stress and you are in peace with yourself, rather than making more money and you get the idea, you get the point, right? Making more money and being too much stressed all the time, the more stress that comes with having to make more money than you have to pay off the debt and the taxes, and everything that will comes once you start making more money. Isn't it better to live with less stress but also with less income? Our ultimate goal is to be happy anyway, right? So don't be too much greedy when it comes to happiness. Don't wish more and more happiness and end up with complete sadness. Yeah, because of having debt. So yeah, no, now what? So let's say now you have decided not to take on debt, right? So what are the side effects of not taking on debt, right? So as I told about M2 money and M3 money, the world is fueled with debt. The world is addicted to debt, the cheap money, and all the spending and economic activity that comes with it. So you might feel left behind, right? Someone is let's say your friend is taking debt. He is able to afford with I mean with debt, your friend is able to afford a nice home. He can afford a expensive college degree. I mean more than what you can afford. He will get a better job than you. Yeah, obviously he will be making more money than you. So all of this, and he will be having a better lifestyle than you. Obviously paid with debt, right? It's financed with debt, and you will look broke. Uh, you will not have a nice home or a nice lifestyle. You will have a bad house, I think, and a bad lifestyle, uh, and you will do not have a good college degree. Obviously you look broke compared with your friend who is getting into debt. You will look broke, right? uh, what happens with debt is it helps showing off, it helps in showing off a lot of stuff, but down that debt will be building up, uh, with the debt will be taking you more and more down, more and more down, right? So but you on the other hand are just the same, like there is no debt building up, but you are also not getting the higher lifestyle, right? So here you will look broke, obviously. You look like you're very poor, and compared to your friend, like who is having the debt which is down, which is obviously not going to be visible for people. What is visible is his higher standard of living. But here on the other hand, uh, yeah, so obviously, uh, and this is natural, right? You will have to endure this pain, you will have to endure this suffering if you do not want to get into this debt, and if you do not want to be trapped in this debt. Like you cannot have a cake and eat it too, right? You can either eat the cake or you can just keep the cake without eating. You cannot keep the cake and eat it too, right? You cannot do both. You'll have to do, you'll have to choose between one thing. So this will obviously be the side effect of not taking on more debt. So, and I think we have reached the end of the video. So let me come to the conclusion. So it's not like I do not want you to ever take the debt, right? It's not that you should never take debt, right? But like I want you to consider and analyze all the factors like I have mentioned in the video, and you should know the worst possible scenario, and if you are really prepared for that, right, then you can decide if you want to go ahead with taking debt, right? Like looking at the worst possible scenario, right? That's it's very difficult to imagine and even comprehend that worst possible scenario. Uh, like if you're not in that scenario even once, right? If you don't have that experience, like it is very difficult to comprehend, and it's very difficult to even understand the difficulty of the situation, right? For example, when I was in my college, I did not know anything about the job. Like when many people used to say they hate their job, their job is uh, like too much stressful and demanding. I thought they're just making it up. They're just yeah, I think they're lying. I thought they were lying, but once I do get into job, man, I got to know how difficult it really was. So right now, though, I'm not going to job, but I really hated my job, like too much. Yeah. So what I was saying is, it's very difficult to understand the how. Yeah, it is very difficult to understand the difficulty that is going to come in your future, right? That is the again comes to the risk of uncertainty. Yeah, if you could consider all these factors accurately, right? It's not like you don't downplay all these factors. So you will obviously remain with the euphoria that is spent by that you got from the advertisement and seeing the successful people. That is what is going to remain if you like downplay all of these factors I have just mentioned. So, like if you can gauge both of them accurately, and then if you decide to take on debt, that would be much more better than going into debt blindly. I would not like to say, but yeah, going into debt without like considering most of the stuff. Yeah. So like my personal experience with debt is also like um, I think I will make a separate video about my personal experience with debt. So yeah, that's it for this video. And coming to the like recommendations, right? Obviously, the book Black Swan. Yeah, if you could not read it, at least check out the summary. It's not my summary; it's someone else on YouTube. I'll figure I'll like check which is a good summary about the book, and I'll put it into the description. And another book is called as it's named as Debt: The First 5,000 Years. If you can check out that one also. And there is also a very good documentary called Borrowed Future. Right, Borrowed Future is the name of this documentary. It is a documentary on student loan crisis, and it is really a must watch for all of them. It's not just about student loans. I think, uh, yeah, it is the same thing is applicable for all kinds of debt, all kinds of loans. And like it is a brilliant documentary, and it is a must watch, I feel, and I really recommend it a lot. Yeah, that's it for this video, and thanks for watching. Bye.